What's up, everybody? This is Vlad Tayman, and I'm a host of this podcast, Trader Foundation, where we teach the ordinary people out there how to become profitable traders. That's right, people who don't even know how to put in a trade, who are just confused and have no clue of what to do. We break it down in the most simplest form to a place where you could have consistent profits with the market. And today I got a whole host of coaches from the program. We got Leo Gonzalez, Erin
Mhm.
Chawla, and Elliot. So all three are here today. We're going to talk about every little thing you could think of. Again, we're going to have plenty of shows here. We're going to discuss charting, we're going to discuss psychology, everything. But today, we have a whole different topic. We're just going to discuss about the overall idea of why are we doing this? Where do we come from? What's the need that we fulfill in general? With that said, just wanted to introduce Erin. Erin, how are you?
I'm doing great, thank you. I'm really excited to be here.
Awesome, awesome. So Erin's been with us for how long now?
I think 4 or 5 years. I can't remember.
Mm.
It's been a while because I think every single year I get out with like Elliot and Leo, like, hey, let's just catch up. And we call it my yearly pilgrimage every single time.
Yeah.
Like, hey, how's it going? How are we doing? They
Yep, yep.
know they're laughing because it's true every single time because I go through, just like every single trader, I go through spurs of like, it's great. And then I'm like, ah, this is hard. And then I'm like, Aaron, you're never quitting because you invested too much time into this.
Gotcha, gotcha. Yeah, and just so you guys know, everybody here has been a student in our program. So we run an academy, one-on-one coaching to really hold you accountable to make sure that what we do is actually going to work. And that's a big thing for a lot of people. They try different shortcuts. With that said, one of our OG people who started with Trader Foundation, Elliot Gums. What's up, Elliot? How
Yeah,
are you?
what's going on, man? It's been a
Good.
while, man. Five
We call you
years,
old man. We don't care about your
right?
age.
About 5 years, 5.5 years. I was
Yeah, man.
reminded
Been
of that by a member recently. But yeah, it's been a journey. Quite frankly, might sound cliche. One of the better decisions I made in my life was jumping on board with you, man. So it's been an honor. It's been fun. It's been a roller coaster for
You guys
sure.
are going to get to know him. He's a little more quieter, but the knowledge he's going to bring is going to be insane. You're going to see that for yourself. He breaks things down extremely well. And lastly, the big guy. He's also, you got to be careful what you say around Leo. Leo's a cop, so you got to be very
Yeah.
careful because he will arrest
Well,
you
he's
for being
undercover.
bearish. What's up, Leo? How are you,
How's it
man?
going? I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good.
Hope I didn't blow up your spot there.
Nah, you're fine. It's all good. I'm the in between guy. I've been here less than Elliot, but longer than Aaron. So I'm guessing close to 5 years for me,
Yeah.
the journey. And again, you already mentioned it. Like I started as a student. You know what I mean? Like I
Mm-hmm.
joined the program, I fell in love with it, and I was like, holy crap! Like this has the potential. And again, if you let it, to change your life.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah,
saw that right away. So I went hard into this stuff. And then obviously, I want to say in less than a year, like you reached out to me like, hey, you want to coach people because you're getting the hang of this stuff. I'm like, yeah, I'm doing it anyway, so why not? You know what I mean? I'd be holding sessions on Saturdays with other members, and we'd just be bouncing ideas and stuff.
you know,
And
it's crazy. It's like one thing he forgot to say in that story is he's been coaching for a while for free. He just likes to do it. In fact, we created a community because Leo said, "How about we have a community?" And now we have a huge community of people thanks to his initiating thoughts. But just having someone so passionate, where he would literally just have Saturday calls with people. I'm like, I'm obligated to bring him on as a coach because it's just too much value there. So.
Mhm.
yeah,
That's
man.
awesome. But a lot of people ask this question. I get this all the time. Well, if he's such a good trader, why does he have to be a cop? And the cool thing is, what people don't realize is you became a profitable trader and then became a cop because I
Yeah.
guess it was your passion. Can you talk a little more about that?
Yeah, man. So before becoming a cop, I was running a business, and
Mm-hmm.
that stuff was kind of like hands-on. You're there from opening to close. There's no such thing as weekends off. Holidays were kind of the busiest days. So I got burnt out, man. I was burnt out, and then I was looking for something different. I kind of, found you guys, or you found me in another group, right? And I think kind of what got me is like you started talking about like passive income, where it's
Hmm.
like, hey, you're not glued at a computer, right? We're not here to day trade. We're doing stuff like the paycheck, right? Where you kind of you set it and forget it. It slowly makes you money. So I'm like, that's what I'm looking for. Something passive where I don't really have to be here glued to a screen and it feels like a job. And then I can go and do the job that I actually wanted to do, right? Which was to become a cop. So yeah, I mean, I was running the restaurant, I was doing this stuff, and then this stuff, like, again, I went all in. I started reading, books and just spending the time, right? The time it requires to learn this stuff, practicing, got pretty good at it. So it got to the point where I was actually able to leave the restaurant business stuff, and I hopped over to be a cop, and I get to be a cop now, and I get to trade passively, and it's pretty cool because it doesn't feel, again, like a job. It's very passive style trading.
Which is awesome. I mean, I know we talked about the passive. I know we discussed all that. Here's where it's interesting because when you came here, you weren't a beginner. You
I was
you
not.
knew about a trading, but from what I remember, you told me I've done options, but I lose money. So
Right.
something clicks. I think Erin had it. Even Elliot, I actually got introduced to Elliot from a friend who told me, "Oh
Yeah.
yeah, my boy does some trading."
Yeah.
So everybody's
Yeah.
done some trading. And
Right.
Yeah.
and Leo, I remember your conversation. I don't think I talked as much to Erin. I think she talked to our team. But with
Yeah.
you, I remember that plain as day. Yeah, I trade options, but or I need to learn more about them because I kind of don't get it.
Yes.
What was the difference? Because again, you're an analytic guy. You did the YouTube University. You did all these
Yeah.
things. What made the difference?
So my biggest issue was that I was in one of those, I mean, I know we've all been in them, right? Paid groups where you're blindly following other people's trades, right?
Hmm.
So that kind of forced me to learn options kind of on my own. Because I'm like, what am I doing? Like, what is a call? What is a put? What am I buying? So the issue was like I would follow these trades and then I would make a lot of money, but then I would give it back the next week. And I never knew why I took the trade, right? So then when I kind of started talking to you, you're like, hey, well, we teach technical analysis. We teach you the why before you even take a trade, right? So that was what got me. I'm like, hey, I need to understand technical analysis so I can understand why I'm taking a trade, which was really what I was missing. And obviously, I mean, I jumped in the group and right away, like, I want to say I went through the whole program like 4 times because it was like
That's it.
really good information, man, that I really, really needed.
I
Hmm.
remember when we were all starting, Elliot, you remember this too, because we didn't have all the tools that we had now.
Yeah.
We used Voxer, and I think I would spam you. And then I remember Leo, and I was like, this is inefficient because I was asking Leo the exact same questions too. So we just had a group chat and we would just spam each other pretty much at like 2 a.m. Like, hey, look at this. Look at
For
that.
real.
What
Hmm.
about this? You remember those early days?
Yeah.
Late nights, early days. Yeah.
Yeah.
Voxer, man. We're
Oh, that
getting
was, I don't
old.
even know.
Man,
That was such a long
boxer.
time ago, but
Now
obviously the
we're
gaming has changed.
AIing things, and a lot of things have changed.
Yep.
So it's interesting. So let me ask you this because maybe I'm just crazy here. I used to watch YouTube back then. YouTube's been around.
Yeah.
I liked videos. It wasn't as big, so I would read and stuff like that about trading. I'll be
Yeah.
honest with you, I didn't understand a word of it. I really didn't.
Yeah.
And now when I look at it, after like learning the foundation and took someone, I had coaching of my own where people coached me. I would say a lot of the information I'm listening to now is actually not that bad. Because what I realized, and you guys tell me if I'm wrong, if having that foundation, understanding the actual knowledge of things that most don't teach, because again, they just kind of show you the how, do
Yeah.
this strategy.
Yeah.
This okay, well, I don't know how to. I'm almost embarrassed to tell you, I don't even know how to put a stock in play. Like I don't even know how to execute a stock. You're showing me some up and down. But once I learned that someone had the time, a lot of gates opened up for me. I know, Leo, you tried futures, all these different things since then.
Yes.
Why do you think what do you think it is? Like why isn't anybody teaching us the why?
I feel everybody is so focused on the profit. So they want to get you right away to like, hey, do this and that and you'll make money, right? The problem is you leave that gap right? And people are like, okay, so I'll do that, but like, why am I doing that? If you don't understand the why, you won't be able to identify the trades on your own eventually. Like, you need to
Mm.
understand, why is this candle a good signal? Why are we looking at the volume? Right? Why are we doing this? Like, just kind of put everything together so it makes more sense when you're actually out there looking for a potential trade.
Right.
So
Yeah.
that's really what it is. Like, you want to give the full picture, right? You don't just want to tell people, hey, click buttons A and B, and you're going to make money, because it's not going to make them independent traders if that's what
Right.
I
But
think
Elliot,
also too,
I
this
was,
go ahead.
culture of super fast, uh, we want to see profits immediately without understanding any background information. And people don't want to put in the effort because they just want to see, I'm a profitable trader, but there's no background, right? And they
happens.
don't know how to do any of it and just expect to make money. I think
yeah,
it's also a lot of the social media to make it do like, it's immediate in 5 minutes,
No,
yeah.
you know,
There's
But
so
I know,
without
many,
but a
the
lot
so
of
many
coaching.
people.
different things for
Yeah, Elliot, I
sure.
know me and you talked. One of the things that we discussed before a while ago, some people just want to do it fast, and there's
Mm.
some legit people who are students. And we originally started the program. One of the things we noticed, we would attract students who want to learn, and they said they've been through coaching programs, but they still don't get it. And part of it could be the teaching. Part of it could be the fact that everybody said the same thing. It was group coaching.
Yeah,
What, and I think Elliot, you did some sort of program like that back in the day, from what I remember. Something to do with like a group of people you get together with, or was it maybe Erin? I don't remember.
I
When
mean,
you guys
yeah.
had
My
like a
earliest thing with stock trading prior to when that mutual friend said that I traded, that was an
hmm
overstatement. The most I did was very similar to what Leo mentioned, was like not so much a group, but I would just go on social media threads and see what
mm,
people are talking about. I had no idea what was going on. And I knew how to buy and sell shares. I didn't know options. I opened an option chain. It was overwhelming. So I came into this very much skin and bone, no skin, no
hey, one of our
understanding.
first clients, yeah, had to meet with me every Wednesday. Remember that? Every
Sometimes
Wednesday.
twice a week. Yeah.
Yep,
I
yep,
also
yeah.
remember seeing the original videos that were like super bad quality and I don't even know what group it was. And it was just literally it was just Elliot in a room. That was it.
In the
Yeah.
dungeon. He's upgraded
Yeah.
the room since then.
Yeah.
No, that's, but yeah, so you guys think, and so with that, like when we get these people, they're students, right? A lot of them love it, but with every good teacher, you need a good student. What do you guys think makes a good student? What's the quality of a person we're looking for that would say, hey, this is going to work for them? What
I
do you think that
if
person
I
has?
if I may
Hmm.
start with that, I think, and it just kind of like, I think about when I got started, right? The very first thing that happened is, I believed that this program had the potential to change my life. Like, I really believed it, right? So that forced me to put in the time, right?
Hmm.
Once I identified, hey, this is important, right? I paid a bunch of money to be in this group, right? Like, I need to take this seriously. I've now invested in myself. I believe in the program. The program has the potential to change my life. You need to believe that. If you don't actually believe that, you're not gonna put in the work that you need to put in. You're not gonna start showing up. Half of the battle, and I've been here almost 5 years. Like, I've met a lot of people. It's the people that show up consistent. Like, that's the people that do good in this program. Like, that is like the main thing, man. You have to show up. You need to show up. And there's a lot of people who are like, they've been here a while, man. I've met them once, never saw them again. And it's like, how you
Why
can't
do you think
expect
that
it to
is?
work. I personally think they didn't believe in themselves, man. And they're like, hey, I'm not even gonna waste my time trying to figure this out. They from the get go just said, hey, maybe this is hard, which I don't think it is. I mean, when you show up, we've broken everything down so well now, right? Like we've
Hmm.
had a lot of people from all walks of life, show up, take this program, and they all did good. A lot of these people, like, not everybody had a degree. There's a couple people that I work with regularly, like, they
Mhm.
graduated high school and they do amazing. They do really good. So, I think the biggest thing is people signed up and then they just didn't believe in themselves and they walked away.
So go ahead, Elliot.
No, I was gonna, or maybe something happens and it just steamrolls or snowballs into. I remember thinking of like you go to the gym X amount of time, then you go on vacation, you're not in the gym for a week, and now you kind of just that break in routine, and then it again just snowballs out of control. And it's like, damn, I haven't been to the gym in a year now.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, so there's so many different factors that can influence that. Um, yeah, from losses to
I think
belief
the
in self.
mindset thing is very important. I think people don't talk about it enough. And I'll
Hmm.
tell you, just one of the things I've noticed is like defeating of the confidence. People don't realize it's like a blind thing, but every time people do something good when they come into this program, well, that's what I've seen. Whether they just join a coaching session, they're subconsciously saying, "I'm headed in the right direction." It's
Hmm.
easy to do. It's easy to book a session. It's easy to read something. It's easy to do all those things, but it's easy not to do it. And every time you skip, there's a subconscious part of you that says that you're creating, saying, my standards are not as high as I thought it was. And I see people like that kind of build this belief in their mind. It's little steps. I forgot to do the homework. I forgot to do this. I forgot to do
Hmm.
that. Oh, I forgot to do the trading log. Like, how hard is it? We have a time machine. You just go in, put in 20 trades in 20 minutes to see how you did. It's easy to do, but easy not to do. And it's crazy the difference in those people with the
100%.
Yeah.
habits. And unfortunately, when you don't do those, subconsciously you're telling yourself, I'm just not that I don't believe in myself, but you're not doing the actions to believe in yourself.
Hmm.
You
Yeah.
know, so
It's much. Yeah. It's easier not to do this stuff, actually.
I've noticed that with students, there's two parallels, right? One student that's super successful, they come in with the mindset of, hey, this can be exactly what Leo was saying. This can be life changing, and I really want to learn. But they don't have this specific time frame. Like, I need to make money right now. Because I'm like, that's
Mm-hmm.
the case. If you want to just finish and you think you're just going to make money, that's probably not the case because you need coaching, you need repetition in order to do it. And the people who are not as successful are ones who don't really show up on the lives. They don't show up on the coaching sessions. They hardly do their homework. And they come in with this trading for desperation. And
Those are
because
the most
desperation
difficult.
makes them do really stupid decisions.
Hmm.
And they're forcing things that just don't exist is another thing that I've noticed. And that's one of the major factors that I've noticed from a successful student to one that's not successful.
I want to
gotcha.
kind of ride the coattail of that desperation one too, because that can come in so many different forms. From recently, someone mentioned, I guess, uh, private business bankruptcy. For myself, the desperation was kind of losing focus that this whole journey with trading was mine, right? With my ambition and excitement in it, I wanted to show others, but some people need to see you do it first before they start to believe in it. So I tried to force things like, hey, look, it does work. So in the real market, you can't force a situation. And then again, that desperation leads to one bad trade. Now you're in revenge mode. And then again, it snowballs out of control. It's like, so I think one trait of a good student is really understanding that this is your path, this is your decision. It's not for you to try to prove it to anyone else.
Right.
This is your mission, and we're all traders, but we may go about it differently. Uh, you may do X amount of expiration days versus this, but it's just really being disciplined to why did you take on this journey from the beginning anyway, and keep that at the forefront. So, you know,
Yeah. One thing I remember that I used to ask myself a lot, and I know Erin still does, and we talk about it frequently. It's like, we asked ourselves, like, hey, like, have I actually put in the work? Like, do I actually deserve to be profitable? Have I actually done enough to where I'm at a point where I should expect to make some sort of profit? And the answer is like yes for a lot of the strategies, but then like me and Erin run into like other strategies that we hear about, and we're like, hey, that sounds really profitable. That sounds really good, but what kind of work does that require? And are
mm,
we willing to put it in? Right? It's kind of like the first questions we ask ourselves. Like, hey, are we actually going to be putting in that kind of work to achieve and learn that new strategy? Or should we just stick to what we already know that's working out for us, right? And just let that be. So it's really important that you be honest with yourself. Hey, have I actually been practicing as the program expects me to? And am I at a spot where I should be profitable? Or am I just here essentially just kind of coasting, you know what I mean? And kind of trying, but not really. And that's a conversation I feel everybody needs to have with themselves about, hey, have I put enough work to actually deserve to be profitable? You know?
I think trading requires a lot of self-reflection that some people are
Mhm.
not ready to actually, have that conversation with themselves. Because a lot of our coaching sessions, I'm sure Leo or Elliot or Vlad, you guys can tell me otherwise, but a lot of the times, some of my coaching sessions are straight up be like, "Hey, so what have you done lately?" Because I will tell them like, "Hey, these trades suck." You know, and you guys know me too. I'm not sometimes not the nicest person,
Yeah,
and they're like, "I really needed to hear that," and I'm like, "I'm
Yes.
telling you the truth because this is not going to cut it."
yeah, for real. And
And that's part of what we do as a coach to notify them like this is what we expect and you better deliver because please do not waste our time. We have a lot of other things going on.
I got a question about, like, so you, let's just say we're talking about people commitment wise, right? And
Hmm.
some just have issues with commitment. A lot of them, and that's a small group. There's a lot of people in our group who come in, invest in themselves. They're ready because at the end of the day, another whole other thing is it's very hard to find good, legitimate one-on-one coaching, somebody holding you accountable, things like that. But once they finally get it, and they are the people who
Hmm.
want to put in the work, how do you handle the people? Let's be honest. Some people want to do it. I'm one of them, by the way. And I just won't get it, man. I could watch a video, no matter how good the video is, and it's like the video will tell me I will answer all your questions, which it does. But what it doesn't tell me is that then you just gave me 10 new questions. Because now I am even more confused, which is normal because you're watching a video and I can't ask anything. Everybody's different. Um, how do you handle like that situation when someone comes to you and they're like, "Look, I'm trying. I did all the work. I put in the trades. I'm not getting it, Aaron. I'm not getting it, Elliot. Leo, don't hurt me. Don't arrest me. I'm just not." What do you do?
Elliot, can I take this one? Because I have a really good
Go ahead.
story.
Yeah.
Okay. I remember early on in my career, and the post is still on school, so we can show it up. But I remember when I started, I was getting credit spreads and debit spreads confused. And at the time, you remember Elliot? You know what I'm talking about?
I'll go all out, man.
Yeah, he's gonna timestamp
I
it
didn't
and
even know
everything.
that, but I could swear I still remember bull put, bear call. What are
Yep,
these?
yep,
Yes.
that was
What are these
Yes.
exactly me.
animals?
And
Yes.
this is coming from like now I'm a coach, right? And I got them all mixed up. And then, just going from like, how do you help someone who doesn't understand it? Because I watched all the videos, I watched them several times. And Elliot, you created this pretty picture diagram for me. And I called it spreads for dummies pretty much. And for anyone who asks me now, I have some confusion on spreads. I'd be like, reference this article or this picture, print it out, sleep with it, let me know, and then come back to me if you have any questions. But a lot of times as coaches, we have to get creative about how we help someone with, learning. And sometimes for me, I mean, we have a group chat and we talk about like, hey, I have a student and I'm not vibing with them or whatnot. I can't, like, I need your help. Or, Elliot and Leah, we'll talk about it and be like, hey, can you kind of help me with this? Because this person's just not getting it with me. And that's okay because we all have very different personalities. I will say Leo is definitely, I think, much more patient than I am. I have an excuse though because I'm a mom. So
And
I
he's a
have a little
cop.
one and I think my patience is just
I
minimal
have
in
a
general.
dog.
And Elliot, you kind of, soften them up and be like, hey, this is how it is. And you kind of like stir the pot a little bit. But for me, I'm just like, no, I don't stand for this.
Yeah.
Out. It's just what
yeah,
that's just personality
That's
wise. And we
yeah.
learn to work with that.
Yeah. I agree. Everyone's even that screenshot you mentioned, there may be people that look at that and say, "Hey, I don't get it," but I think
Mm-hmm.
that's part of what I enjoy, and kind of what got me into this was this the idea of coaching. I think back um, working with summer programs at parks, social work background. It's always having to adapt to the individual. So, as much as I love having a successful trade, man, seeing that light bulb moment is just
Yeah.
as great, man. I'm telling you. Like, and I remember someone asking me, "You think you ever, get tired of this stuff?" Because, I might want to, 2 years from now, contact. I was like, for sure. Like, it's not just like, yeah, we say the same things throughout months, years, but it's always a different experience for that individual. And like that's really seriously, it's awesome. It's fun. And yeah, that
It,
that challenge of getting the message across is like, hey man, I'm not
But Elliot
leaving you.
and Leo too, my favorite part is when you have a student that has the and I'm not saying everyone's gonna have this passion that we have,
Right.
but when you get someone that's like
Mm,
loves this, like eats, breathes, I mean, obviously like Alec, he is in China or something or
yeah.
in Asia right now, and he's tuning into lives, and it's literally 2 a.m. Eastern time for him. Or yeah, 2 a.m. and on his time. And that is dedication. Not that I'm expecting everyone to have that.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. But when you meet someone that loves it like that, you're like, even if I had some
just a
not so
quick thing here, by the
yeah,
way. He's 22 or 23 years old. Just
23.
saying.
23, yes.
Sorry,
Yeah.
giving him
That's
extra
Yeah.
good.
age. Okay.
It's all right. It's okay,
But
Alec.
when you meet someone like that, you're like, this is great, because the excitement, the passion, and the one thing that I've noticed with him is he didn't come in this with the mindset of I'm just going to be rich and everything. He wanted to learn.
Yeah.
That was his main driver. And he's like, this is education of a lifelong skill that I'm going to take away. Elliot, remember, and Leo too, remember when we first started and we are like, I wish we knew all these things,
Hmm.
a few years ago and all this stuff. But I'm like, but we know them now. And
Right.
just think about
Yeah.
how much we capitalized on it because of that, because everything that we've built upon. So then now I don't have that FOMO anymore.
Right.
Of,
Exactly. Exactly.
So
Yeah, that's pretty.
to finish off, we're gonna ask a little. I'm gonna put everybody on the spot here. You guys ready to be on the
Cool.
spot?
Bring it on.
All right. Here we go. Here we go. Think about it. I'm gonna go first to give you some time to think.
All right.
I need you. If anybody's looking to really become a very profitable trader, successful like all of you have, and they're ready to put in the work, they understand they need to put in the work. I need you to give me 2 words. In 2 words, what is your advice? And explain. Okay? What is it? Just so people are clear, because it may not be for them. I'll give you the first one, I think. Okay? No shortcuts. If you believe that you don't have to learn something, maybe you could just have some AI bot to do it for you, because obviously everybody's getting rich off an AI bot. Or do some sort of copy trading, and that's all it is, without actually learning the skill. I would say be very careful. Don't waste your time. I'd rather you just put your money in a 401k, collect your 6% a year, and keep it moving, because there are no shortcuts. You could try it and
Yeah.
see how everybody learned, or you could just skip it and actually learn the thing. And then you could probably even use a stock signal thing, because you could actually know what's going on. Until then, there are no shortcuts.
Yeah.
Who's got the I'm gonna
I'll
put
I'll,
Leo
I'll
on
go
the
first.
spot. Let's go. Before
So the first word I would say would be consistency. Right.
you
You
could
want to
do
come
you
into
could do
this.
only one word, by the way. It's
Right.
fine.
So no, but I got two good ones. So one is consistency, right? When you come into this program, like obviously we expect you to put in the work. We'll put in the work with you. We have a lot of availability, like on weekends, afternoons, like all the time. Like, we're here for you. But you need to focus on consistently showing up and then consistently practicing the trading, right? And if you keep consistent, right, the profits will come. Everybody comes in here focused on how do I find the next 100% trade. And it's like, no, focus on being consistent with like a maybe 20% profit, 30% profit,
Yeah.
right? If you can find consistency there, then you can focus on looking for, hey, now I want to be consistent with like 50% profit, maybe 80%, whatever it is, right? But at first, it's just be consistent with the work you put in, be consistent with the practice you put in, and then just try to find consistent profit. It doesn't have to be a lot of profit at first. You'll get there. Just be consistent. The second word I would say is you got to be a specialist, right?
Yeah.
I if I were to describe myself like as a trader, I would say that I am a specialist. I specialize in reversals, right? And everybody that I work with understands that. I understand market reversals extremely well, right? I have a bunch of boxes that I have to check before I can take a trade, right? So when I started the program, I was like, oh, we're going to be taking 5 or 6 trades a day. This is going to be awesome. We're
Mhm.
going to be here doing this and that. And that's not the reality. The reality is we're here to become specialists in a very specific pattern or style of trading. And once we become specialists and we understand that, our job then becomes to find that signal within the market to take a trade off. So
Leo,
those would be my 2 words.
I you okay? Can I mention something about the specialist? This is
Yeah,
coming from me. I'm not a cop. I'm very impatient. I'll
yeah.
arrest you for blinking at me. That's just so. That's why I can't be a cop. But I will
Is that a
say the
wink?
biggest. Yeah, I saw that, Elliot. You're lucky you're on Zoom here. But I will say this. When I remember trading, and I actually had somebody who basically was a client of ours. They wanted to do crypto, then they wanted to do forex, and then from forex, they did ETFs. And it just everything like futures, you name it. They just kept hopping, hopping, hopping. And I had to explain this to them, basically saying, look, think about a doctor, right? Everybody has a family practice doctor.
Yeah,
Um, if you have
Hopefully.
if you take a specialist doctor, like somebody who specializes in a heart or something, compared to a family doctor statistically sees 6 to 10 times more patients because they get everybody. They're generalist.
Yeah.
But the specialist only sees a few people, but they make 6 times more money. Because at the end of the day, if you're a generalist and you try everything, nobody wants to deal with that. And it's the same thing with trading. If you don't have that specialty and you're worried, like you have to be focused and to whatever your specialty is and master it instead of letting the noise play out. If you have that right frequency and you're there, you're going to be a heart surgeon because the last thing we want, you don't want to be a family doctor, operating on a heart.
right,
You want to be a heart surgeon going in, just like with a trade. You want to be specializing in whatever. If it's a reversal, it's a reversal. I don't think there's any one way that works. I mean, crypto works, forex, but everybody has the same problem. They don't know the foundation behind any of it, so they think one doesn't work. Let me try this. They just dabble.
hop
So
around.
that's a good one, man. I also
Yeah.
wanted to speak to give Elliot more time to think about his word.
There you go.
I'm ready.
All right,
Um,
go for it.
the first one I think of Dunning-Kruger. Right, that's 2 words, I know. But if we hyphenate it to one, and the second would be discipline. Dunning-Kruger, I shared this. It's kind of been a light bulb moment for me this year. I shared it with you not too long ago. Vlad was like,
Mhm.
we come into something new, and we get very enthusiastic about it, and we learn how to read a candle, green, bullish, volume, right? We know enough to talk about it, but not enough to know when we're actually still wrong about something. Right? So we kind of miss the context of that bullish candle. As we all know, you might have a bullish candle now, but it started, 5 candles ago. You're late, you know. So coming in again, that was a big downfall of mine. I think everyone goes through that. It's normal, but I think it's more important to, you know, uh, the wise man once said he knew nothing at all, so to speak, type of thing. So, and then the discipline part would be if you know what works, stick to that, kind of with that specialist thing as well. But some days, if we're looking for X, Y, and Z for that perfect or ideal setup, the disciplined person won't, oh well, we're missing Y and Z, but we still got X, so I'm gonna take it. Right. So if you're always doing something undisciplined leads into inconsistency. It's like, how can you ever become consistent over time if you're never sticking to something? So doing it all the time the same way, not skimping out on rules, no cutting corners. So yeah, Dunning-Kruger and discipline.
Awesome.
I like that one.
Erin.
Mine is going to be standards.
Ooh.
Okay. When I say standards, I mean kind of similar to what Elliot was saying and Leo, like regarding we have specific criteria of, within a trade. But if you start, like, oh, this is okay this one time, and you don't actually have a specific criteria, then you get complacent, a little bit lazy, and you end up making a lot of mistakes. And I always say this in almost every single live, trading is like dating. You choose the best, which is the reason why I say standards and not criteria. Because if you be like, this person's okay, I'll trade this one, I'll do this one, then your results will show. And then we'll talk about it and be like, you dated wrong, you chose wrong. Like we talked about, like, because every single time when we have lives, I remember I used to ask Allie, you remember which one is the best one that you like out of this one? You
The
remember
one with
this,
the
right?
most money. Sorry.
Yeah, the one that you define, the
No.
one that you define as
I
the
couldn't
best
help
one,
it.
and he's like, this is because I used to ask people to like grade them. If you go through like really old school lives, I was
Yeah.
I was a bit aggressive. I'd be like, which one's A plus, A, B, C?
Yeah.
Because we know that I'm never not gonna really choose the B if I already have the A plus. But that's what I would say. And to another point I want to add, Leah, when you mentioned you're a specialist, I think also because I probably leaned on you a lot more too in order to trade when I first started. So I'm also kind of the same way too that I trade also reversals, but it is also what I gravitate towards. And regarding, as coaches, whenever we have sessions with people, at least this is how I do it, I ask them like, what are your eyes gravitating towards right now? Immediately some people go towards breakouts, and that's okay. If that's the case, that's your thing. That's fine. Let's specialize on it and make sure that you can spot any single breakout on every single time frame. And that's where we come in to help because I think, to other points, you're saying like some people try to do too many things and they don't know what is, their way of trading. And that's where we come in to help them to, figure out like, hey, this is what I think will work for you. Specialize for their life, their trained eyes, and go from there. And I think that's our one of the biggest things
Awesome.
that I've realized that helped a lot of folks in this program.
It's definitely a high standard, I agree. With that said, if you have a high standard and if you're consistent and you're ready for no shortcuts, and of course, you're disciplined, then what I strongly recommend, we're going to be doing more of these types of episodes. Okay, so if you like this one, wait till we get into the charts, wait till we start talking about some technical stuff, wait till we start talking about the mindset and the psychology behind trading. We're going to cover it all and make sure you are in the right hands and no more shortcuts. Other than that, we will see you in the next episode. Make sure to give us 5 stars if you like the episode. We definitely like that. And leave your review. We would love to hear from you what your opinions are. See you in the next one.
Take care, y'all.
Later.